Welcome back to our continuing coverage of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the United States of America. The Prime Minister met the US Vice President Kamala Harris at the Eisenhower Building in Washington, D.C. Now, there was a joint statement by both the leaders and they noted strong bilateral relations between India and the United States of America. Kamala Harris lauded India's vaccine drive, inoculating more than 10 million people a day. Added, both nations will fight the pandemic together. She also welcomed India's move to resume export of vaccine. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on the other hand, thanked the US Vice President for helping during the second wave. He said the 4 million strong Indian diaspora acts as a bridge between the two countries and reminded Kamala Harris about shared values and interests of India and the United States of America. The Prime Minister sought America's cooperation in space, science and technology. Concluding the meet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi invited the US Vice President to visit her Indian roots. Kamala Harris also gave a tour to the Prime Minister of the iconic Eisenhower Tower after their meeting.
एक्सेलेंसी, आपका उपराष्ट्रपति के नाते चुने जाना अपने आप में एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण घटना है, ऐतिहासिक घटना है और आप पूरे विश्व के में बहुत से लोगों के लिए प्रेरणा स्रोत है। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि राष्ट्रपति बाइडेन और आपके नेतृत्व में हमारे संबंध नई ऊंचाई हासिल करेंगे। एक्सेलेंसी, आपकी ये विजय यात्रा ऐतिहासिक है। भारत के लोग भी चाहेंगे कि भारत में आपकी इस ऐतिहासिक विजय यात्रा को सम्मानित करें, आपका स्वागत करें। इसलिए मैं आपको विशेष रूप से भारत आने का निमंत्रण देता हूं।
Outside of South Asia for at least the last 16 months, and on behalf of the President and myself, we are honored to welcome you for this visit. India, of course, is a very important partner to the United States. Throughout our history, our nations have worked together, have stood together to make our world a safer and stronger world. Mr. Prime Minister, when you and I last spoke in June, we talked about how our world is more interconnected and interdependent than ever before. And the challenges that we face today have highlighted that fact, be it COVID-19, the climate crisis, and the importance of our shared belief in a free and open Indo-Pacific region.
And ahead of the crucial Quad Summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. Prime Minister Modi held a standalone bilateral meeting with his Australian counterpart, and he termed it as comprehensive strategic partnership with Australia. In this meeting, the Prime Minister discussed a wide range of subjects aimed at deepening economic and people-to-people ties between the people of India and Australia. Also on agenda were regional and global developments in the area related to trade, defense, clean energy and COVID-19. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar were also a part of this meeting. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 7th visit to the United States of America kicked off on Thursday. He will be meeting US President Joe Biden on Friday. This is the third US President that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting as Prime Minister of India. The Prime Minister believes in adding a personal touch during his interactions with leaders of the world's oldest democracy. Will the Biden administration, which has kept human rights and free speech at the forefront of its agenda, give and return a similar warm welcome to Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
If there's one place Prime Minister Narendra Modi feels at home outside India, it would be the United States. In the 7 years he's been the Prime Minister, this is his 7th visit to the country. And over this period, he has interacted with 3 presidents, Joe Biden, the latest. Indo-US relations under Modi are also about the personal touch he brings to the negotiating table. President Barack Obama, for instance, is friend Barack.
मैं राष्ट्रपति और मेरे परम मित्र ओबामा का बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ.
A friend to whom he personally served tea. In Donald Trump, Prime Minister Modi found another friend and ally. India carried out surgical strikes in POK after the Uri terror attack and later launched airstrikes on Jaish-e-Mohammed terror camps deep inside Pakistan in Balakot. The US under Trump stood with New Delhi. There were missteps as well, the biggest letdown being edged out of the peace talks in Afghanistan. The camaraderie, however, was too good to believe. It led Prime Minister Modi to Houston, where he, many felt, openly endorsed Trump for a second term.
The words of candidate Trump, अब की बार ट्रम्प सरकार.
They even took out a victory lap in front of a thrilled diaspora. On many issues, the Biden administration may take a different line from Trump's. If Trump was silent when India abrogated Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, Biden and his Democrat colleagues during the presidential campaign had criticized the decision, much to our discomfort. But much has happened since then. The global economy is shaky after the worst humanitarian crisis since the World War. The Taliban is back in Afghanistan, posing an even bigger terror threat to the world. Pakistan continues its old game of blackmail diplomacy. The Chinese are spreading their influence aggressively. The world is no more unipolar. There are fears of another Cold War.
We're not seeking, say it again, we are not seeking a new Cold War or a world divided into rigid blocks. The United States is ready to work with any nation that steps up and pursues peaceful resolution to shared challenges, even if we have intense disagreements in other areas.
Day 2 is going to be about the big Quad in-person summit meeting between and among the Quad leaders and the bilateral between President Biden and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where the focus is going to be Afghanistan, counter China, resilient supply chains, as also post-COVID recovery and economic cooperation. With video journalist Yukendra Singh in Washington DC, Geeta Mohan for India Today.
The world is watching the rise of the Quad in the face of Chinese and Taliban threat. Leaders of India, the United States of America, Australia and Japan will meet for the first time in person for the Quad summit. Now, ahead of this crucial meeting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held one-on-one meetings with his Australian and Japanese counterparts.
The exclusive club of 4 of the world's top leaders. For the first time, all the Quad leaders sitting across the table. President Biden, Prime Minister Modi, the Australian and Japanese premiers meet on Friday to brainstorm on global and regional issues. The focus is the Indo-Pacific, but the summit being held in an eventful year will discuss the pandemic response, particularly strengthening the vaccine supply chain, along with climate change and education.
Primarily, the focus is going to be how to ensure that China and Chinese aggression is contained in the entire Indo-Pacific region. There are many areas that will be covered when it comes to alliances, but also the focus will remain counter-terrorism, post-COVID recovery, is also supply chain resilience. These are very important aspects, but terrorism and the situation in Afghanistan certainly are going to be key.
And 3 hours before the 4 leaders meet, the Prime Minister will hold his first bilateral meeting with President Biden. The summit in Washington will be closely monitored 11,000 kilometers away in Beijing. The quadrilateral grouping aims at countering the growing Chinese aggression in the Indo-Pacific region. Quad's target is a free and open Indo-Pacific, unconstrained by coercion. It's an informal strategic dialogue between four like-minded nations to negate China's expansionism. The first in-person summit of the Quad comes at an important time, with the Indo-Pacific undergoing a geopolitical churn. And with Biden taking the lead in hosting it, the United States is signaling its resolve to defend its interest in the Indo-Pacific. With Geeta Mohan in Washington, D.C., Bureau Report, India Today.
From the very first visit by the newly independent India's Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Donald Trump bonhomie in Howdy Modi, India's relations with the United States of America have witnessed their own ups and downs. Finally, this post-pandemic meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President Joe Biden is going to take place. So from the COVID pandemic to the collapse of Afghanistan, this will be top of their agenda, along with what's happening to ensure a free Indo-Pacific region. Our next report tells you about the biggest milestones in India-US relationship and how this relationship has evolved over past decades.
Jawaharlal Nehru, Prime Minister of India and the Orient's greatest political and spiritual leader, flies to Washington on one of the most important state visits of recent years.
1949, the first visit by newly independent India's Prime Minister to the United States. Prime Minister Nehru and President Truman, the world's oldest democracy and the youngest democracy, in an embrace of infinite possibilities. But things didn't begin well. And in a world with deep post-war divisions, Nehru's policy of non-alignment and neutrality kept America at arm's length. A decade later, independent India hosted the first visit by a US president. President Dwight Eisenhower and Prime Minister Nehru strengthened a flagging relationship. But Nehru's policy of non-alignment would stand firm and keep India away from forging any substantial India-US relationship. Things improved dramatically in the years that followed, with a young, new generation president in the White House. In 1962, the John F. Kennedy administration openly supported India during the 1962 Sino-Indian War and considered Chinese action as blatant Chinese communist aggression against India. Support that provided great hope of a burgeoning friendship.
We are in touch with the Indian government to determine their assessment of it. In order to better assess Indian needs, we are sending a team to New Delhi.
But the assassination of President Kennedy in 1963 would bring that momentum to a grinding halt and foretold a sudden slide in relations. The next president in the White House, Lyndon Johnson, wasn't a big fan of India and did much to reverse all the gains his predecessors had made. President Johnson, while maintaining ties with India, began America's relationship with Pakistan, not only to ease tensions with China, but also to contain India's rise. Pakistan would flaunt American military hardware in the 1965 war with India, with tanks and fighter aircraft proving to have an edge over India's own, even though Pakistan was still ultimately defeated and contained. But nose-diving relations between Delhi and Washington would hit rock bottom only when the next US president arrived. Taking his predecessor's Pakistan friendliness and bolstering it with massive military aid, President Richard Nixon fully pushed India into the proverbial arms of the Soviet Union in the middle of the Cold War. The cold, frosty Nixon-Indira Gandhi relationship would soon enter the realms of national security. In 1971, when Indira Gandhi's India mounted a ferocious campaign to liberate East Pakistan, President Nixon sent the USS Enterprise aircraft carrier to the Bay of Bengal to intimidate India. A ploy that didn't work, the war ending in a blistering military defeat for Pakistan and the birth of Bangladesh. India's first nuclear tests in 1974 were frowned upon by President Nixon. But with no real relations, there were no sanctions to be applied on India. Following India's emergency, two new national leaders, Prime Minister Morarji Desai and President Jimmy Carter, would gradually attempt to rescue relations between the two countries. Even though India did not support the US invasion of Afghanistan by the turn of the decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and Mrs. Reagan.
But it was the next US President, Ronald Reagan, who pushed the button on a slew of military supply programs for India, including help with the newborn Light Combat Aircraft project. Through the turbulent 80s, the Reagan administration and India, under Indira and then her son Rajiv Gandhi, would continue to build on ties, ever aware of how fragile they had proven to be in the past.
Good afternoon.
The Bill Clinton P.V. Narasimha Rao years are seen by contemporary historians as a time of missed opportunities and contradictory policies. In the early 90s, India had just flipped the difficult switch on economic liberalization, but was also dealing with the beginnings of militancy and Pakistan-sponsored terrorism in Kashmir. The restoration of American aid to Pakistan in 1995 by President Clinton would give India the impetus it needed to go the distance in its nuclear ambitions. Three years later, here in the wastelands of Pokhran, Rajasthan, a bomb was literally dropped on India-US relations.
Today, at 15:45 hours, India conducted 3 underground nuclear tests in the Pokhran range. These tests conducted today were with a fission device, a low yield device, and a thermonuclear device.
India's arrival on the nuclear stage in 1998 under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee triggered an instantaneous reaction from Washington. President Clinton instantly ordered sanctions against India, cutting off all military and economic aid and freezing loans by American banks to the Indian public sector. All the good work done under the Reagan administration in the 80s came to an end. But the sanctions turned out to be a dud and did nothing to stop India's economic rise. In 2000, by the turn of the millennium, when President Clinton visited India after the Kargil War, it was seen as the beginning of a renewed, tentative friendship.
This is terrorist.
But it was the following administration in Washington under President George W. Bush, in the weeks and months after the 9/11 terror attacks, that truly pushed a partnership with India.
Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to the United States.
Centered around the common enemy of Islamic fundamentalism and terrorism, India and the United States forged a strategic partnership that became the seed from which everything would grow going forward, including everything you see today.
Of India's complete support in this.
Things were finally moving forward strategically and at a steady clip. In 2002-2003, India and the US would hold their first Malabar naval exercise, a military drill that has become the centerpiece of today's Quad partnership. Gone were the inhibitions of the past. With a track record of suspicion and hostile policy action, the two nations were ready to embrace for real. That new relationship enshrined in the 2008 India-US Civil Nuclear Agreement, which Manmohan Singh staked his very prime ministership on. There would be no looking back. Under President George W. Bush, and then under President Obama, the Manmohan Singh administration would open the gates to huge military armament supplies from the United States, with deals for transport aircraft, maritime surveillance jets, missiles, combat helicopters, and much else. In 2007, the Quad, or the Quadrilateral Strategic Dialogue, would take birth. A strategic partnership between the United States, India, Japan, and Australia. But it would take another 10 years for it to fully take form. Meanwhile, the India-US weapons deals were sweetening the pipeline and paving the way for the first truly interpersonal relationship between an Indian Prime Minister and a US President. First, this hug in Washington, and then this hug in India. Entwined in these warm gestures was the fact that a Prime Minister who had earlier been blocked for entry by the United States was now a favored friend and an ally in the region. And but for a few bristling comments over the years on the topic of discrimination and unity, Modi and Obama held the alliance together in strong hands, pushing it across the realms of trade, strategic affairs, and culture. But if Modi and Obama exuded the Jhappiwala warmth, the next relationship would explode in terms of camaraderie and body language. Famously, the Howdy Modi event in Houston in 2019, when Modi and President Donald Trump would take what looked like victory laps in front of a hysterical diaspora crowd. Another viral moment was this one, when the bonhomie spilt over at the G7 summit in France. And finally, right before the COVID-19 pandemic would change the world forever, the massive Namaste Trump event at the Motera Stadium in Gujarat in 2020, where the two leaders emblazoned their friendship in the consciousness of history books. And finally now, in a world that has changed dramatically in the last 18 months, stand the leaders of the two countries once again. From the COVID pandemic, to the rise of ISIS, to the collapse of Afghanistan. In their hands are the aspirations, safety, and prosperity of billions, and literally peace in this new world we've inherited. What Modi and Biden forge and the partnership they craft will be something the world will be counting on.
Time now for us to slip into a quick break. News and updates continue on the